Hello, everyone. I'm a little bit before 3 o'clock when I said I would start this live video. This is Coach Sara. I am the newest coach for Complete Performance Coaching. I'm not sure if anyone's going to join us today, but I'm going to chat with you about something that's really important to me. Before I get to that, like I said, this is Coach Sara. I am the newest member of the team, but I am not new to the field of sports psychology or to working with athletes. I've been doing this work actually for over 11 years, which is just amazing to me that it's been that long. So I'm really excited to have joined Coach Rebecca and the other coaches here at Complete Performance Coaching. And so earlier this week, Coach Rebecca talked about how summer is a really important time to be working on your mental skills. And I 100% agree with that. Most athletes have their off season in the summer. So it's a perfect time to be working on not only your physical skills, but your mental skills. And so that's a big part of what we are here to help you with. But it's also a really great time to be thinking about balance. Now, for our gymnasts and our figure skaters, maybe even our divers, I'm not talking about the physical sense of balance. That's obviously very important too, but I'm talking about more of that mental and emotional sense of balance. So I thought it would be useful to talk about some strategies to help find more balance in the summer months. Now, before we do that, let's talk about why. Why is it so important now in the summer to think about balance? And even before we do that, what is balance? So balance is really a feeling. It's feeling like the pieces and parts of our lives that are important are working together. And sometimes people have this idea that balance is even and it's equal, that all of the pieces that are important to us are sort of happening equally, or we're spending the same amount of time in each of those categories, and that's not balance. I mean, it is, but it's not realistic balance, especially for our young athletes, right? During the school year, they're in school a huge chunk of hours. They're in training a huge chunk of hours. So because their time is so filled up with that, and then there's homework, and there's maybe a little bit of time left for family and friends, the school year can be a time where feeling off balance is kind of normal. And though that's unfortunate, it's kind of the reality. And I think that's true for parents too, right? During the school year, we kind of feel frantic getting our kids from place to place and activity to activity. If you've got multiple kids in multiple sports, you're doing a lot of managing of moving pieces. So the school year, it's normal to feel off balance. You should definitely correct as best you can, but summer is a really good time to try and get rebalanced for your athlete and as a family. When you don't have school, some of you might be in year-round school, but generally school is not on the calendar during the summer, right? That means you don't have homework. Now, maybe your kids are keeping up with their studies in some way, which is great. We don't want that, summer slide, as they call it, and they lose all of that information as they go to their next school year. But summer really is a time to regroup, to get back in balance, and, maybe you don't always get balanced, but you can get closer to it. So I thought it would be helpful today as we lead into the summer. Some kids are out of school, some kids are getting close, is to talk about 5 ways to get more balance this summer. Now, these tips are really more for athletes, but it's about the families too. So the first way that you can get more balance this summer is actually to plan out your schedule. Now, hear me out, because, you probably think, well, summer, it's the time you can fly by the seat of your pants. You can just kind of hang out. You don't have to worry about getting people to as many places. Yes, that's true. You should go with the flow. You should enjoy not having as much on your plate. But without some sort of plan, you also risk not getting the things in that are actually fun and that allow you to feel more of that balance. So for example, maybe you want to go to the movies, you want to hit up amusement parks, you want to do hikes. All of that's fantastic, but it also oftentimes requires some level of planning, right? To make sure that all of your kids are available at that time, to make sure that, if your kids want to go to the movies or see friends they haven't seen in a while, you have to coordinate that with other people. So yes, summer should be fun. You should do the activities that you want to be doing, but also think about having a bit of a plan and a schedule. Otherwise, summer can fly by and you don't really make the most of it, and you don't have as much fun as you could have had if you did a little bit of organizing and planning. Now, I'm not saying plan out every single moment or minute in the summer. No, that's, don't do that in the summer. Allow yourself some time to relax, but to create more balance, it can be helpful to schedule yourself out a little bit, but really be aware of what you're planning and when, so that more balance is created in what it is that you're actually scheduling yourself to do. So that's the first way to get more balance in your summer life, is to have a bit of a schedule. Number 2, again, these are for our athletes, but I think this is true for parents too. Get some rest in the summer. Sleep in if you can. Maybe not go to bed early, right? Let's face it, I remember back in the summers when I was a kid, I would just stay up late and then I would sleep in because I was tired. That doesn't always work if you have an early morning schedule, but summer is a fantastic time to catch up on your sleep. Depending on the age of your athlete, we know they're up late with homework, they're doing projects, they've got late practices, they're busy, right? Then competition happens. It's normal to get low on sleep. However, as we know, sleep is so critical. When we don't have enough sleep, we're not as rested as we could be. We don't do as well as we could, right? This is in every aspect of life. So in the gym, in whatever additional training you might do. Obviously summer you're not in school, but you may not be as able to enjoy the activities that you're doing if you're not well rested. So rest and sleep are hugely important, and summer is a really great time to get caught up on that. And when you do have the appropriate amount of sleep, chances are you feel like things are just better. You feel a better sense of balance, because let's face it, during the school year, the amount of sleep that our athletes probably should get dwindles down, especially as they get into those times of finals, if they're old enough to deal with that, as season comes around and maybe they're traveling and they're dealing with time changes. There's a lot that goes on that interrupts sleep, and lack of sleep or not enough sleep can really lead to feeling of discomfort, of just not being your best, and really influences how balanced we feel. So that's the second way to create better balance in the summer. Again, this is a time we want to take advantage of to regroup, get sort of rebalanced, and then go into the school year or the competition time feeling a little bit better. So the third way that I suggest finding more balance this summer is to try something new. Encourage your athletes to try something they haven't done before. I've worked with a lot of athletes over the years, and when we start having conversations of, I'm feeling burnt out, I want to quit, I don't want to do this anymore, a lot of it is because they're missing out on something. They don't always know what that something is. They just know they're missing out. They see their friends doing other things. They see their friends going to the movies, which we're going to talk about fun next, but they see their friends doing other things that they don't really get to do. So talk to your athlete. Do you want to try anything new this summer? Obviously you want them to stay safe, right? But maybe they can try tennis. They can do crafting. They can join a book club. Really, the summer is a great time to think about what other interests does your athlete have and work to nurture those. Because we know in the school year there is so much to do. There is school, there is homework, there is practice, there's competition, there's travel. There's not really a lot of time to nurture and pursue those other interests. And without that other piece of themselves, things feel really off balance. Even when athletes enjoy their sport, they end up feeling a bit more like, oh, I don't enjoy it, because they don't have these other pieces to kind of balance out. And so if in the summer you can work to further develop their interests, even just spending time, maybe it's, I get to do more crafting in the summer, and then I don't feel as sad about it in the school year when I don't get to do that. Or because I've gotten in the habit of, doing my crafting or my reading, or, I learned to ride a skateboard, I make more time for that now in the school year. And so I have a better sense of balance. And really a great resource is YouTube. There are so many YouTube tutorials for just about anything you want to learn. And this could be super simple, like learn to juggle. Like watch a video and learn to juggle, and that's something kind of cool and exciting. And this can be a great activity for parents to do with their athletes is, let's find something new that we can do together. If you don't have as much time, that's okay. But this is also, again, a good lesson for us parents to help continue to feel balance in our lives, is to make sure that we're nurturing all the different parts of ourselves. And summer, again, you might still be working, right? You're still busy, but hopefully you're not as busy or overwhelmed because summer is just a little more relaxed. So it's a good time for everyone to try something new. The fourth way to hopefully create more balance, again, this is for your athlete and for you as a family, is to have fun. Simple as that. Have fun. Do the things that you enjoy as a family, for your athlete. Think about, what don't we have enough time for during the school year or during the competition season, and really make it a point to do those things in the summer. This is where we get back to number one, which is kind of planning and scheduling. Again, I know it can go against kind of like the just let it flow in the summer. I really agree with that. But sometimes you got to schedule the fun in. I don't know about you, but our life gets really busy. And if we don't schedule those times, all of a sudden it's like, oh, that day passed and we meant to go, ride our bikes to the park. Or we meant to pull out the sprinklers and run through them. So I think even if it's you don't know what you're going to do, but set aside certain pockets of time to do something fun. So there can still be spontaneity in it. You can still say, what are we in the mood for today? We've got Saturday afternoon. What's going to be our adventure? Schedule that time in and also have fun. And remember, fun can be big, right? It can, it can be expensive, but it doesn't have to be. If your kids are younger, it's like running through the sprinklers. If your kids are a little older, drop them off at the mall. Do those things that they find to be fun, that again, in the school year, there's just not as much time for. And so when we're helping our athletes create more balance, again, balance is a feeling. It's a feeling in our body. It's a mental state. And when we feel it or we're closer to it, overall, we're just better off. I mean, think about it for yourself. When you're feeling more in balance, you're probably feeling more positive. You're able to tackle challenges better. And so it's important for our athletes that we help them figure out what balance is, how to get back to it when we're kind of feeling a little bit off, and learn in these summer months kind of how to correct when we're off balance so that they're better off and they can do it better in those busier times. Which leads me to my fifth way to help develop better balance in the summer. And this really goes back to our mental skills. So this is helping your athlete develop or improve their ability to manage stress. Now, generally, summer is not a stressful time, right? Which is great. Everyone, ourselves included, but especially our kids, should have decent periods of time where they're not feeling stress. And because of that, this is actually a perfect time to be developing the skills to better manage our stress, because we will all encounter times where we're overscheduled, we're busy, we've got a test and we don't know if we're ready, we've got a competition we're a little nervous for. We will all encounter things that cause us to feel stress, that cause us to feel nervous or pressure. And so now in the summer, when there's not as much of that stuff going on, this is a really great time to develop your mental skills and specifically the ability to manage stress. Again, because stress tends to be lower in the summer. And two really great ways to better manage your stress. One is to be able to deal with the physical feeling of stress. And I'm just going to talk about this quickly. These ideas are things that we work on in our Perform Happy community and one-on-one with our athletes. So if you feel like, oh my gosh, my athlete, yes, they need more help managing stress, let us know because we can help. So the first way that we can help our athletes better manage stress, and this is a great skill for ourselves too, is deep breathing. Now, my family is in, this is Thursday, so we're in day 4 of summer, day 6 if you count the weekend, I've been doing a lot of deep breathing because even though summer should not be as stressful, having my now first grader in the house a lot, it's just creating some tension. So we are all taking a lot of deep breaths. So deep breathing is a really great skill, and I do call it a skill to develop to help you calm down, to manage nerves, and to manage stress. It's simple. It's obviously not, quite as simple as just breathe, although that's a really great way to start. Simply take some deep breaths. But if you can start to notice when you're feeling stressed, if you can start to pay attention to the way your body starts to react and respond when you're feeling overwhelmed, you can take deep breaths to help you calm down. And again, because the summer is a time where we hopefully don't feel as much as that, it's a great way to get our body used to this idea and this skill of deep breathing. And even though it's summer, there will be stressful moments. Like again, in my house, when my almost 6-year-old is chasing his little brother around the house and no one is listening to me. Deep breaths are used by all of us in that situation. And my almost 6-year-old and my almost 3-year-old do take deep breaths when they need to calm down, and it's awesome. So that's one way to improve your ability to manage stress in the summer. The other way and the other way I'm covering today, these are not the only 2 ways, but these are the 2 I'm just going to briefly touch on. The second way is to notice what you're thinking and make adjustments as best you can. So typically when we are feeling stressed or overwhelmed, the way we're thinking, it changes from when we are feeling more calm, more in control. For some of us, we go negative, right? Like, I can't do this. This is going to be terrible. Why did I get myself into this situation? Some of us go to what ifs, like, what if I fall? What if I don't do well on this assignment? What if my coach gets mad at me, right? But a lot of times our thinking will change when we feel stressed or under pressure. So hopefully in the summer, we're not having as many situations that bring that up. But chances are your athlete isn't training, right? So they are in these situations where they're asked to perform, they're learning new skills, they are being challenged. There's still dynamics with family and friends over the summer. If you have them try new things, they might have that, they might feel a little pressure and stress, and that negative voice comes up. So starting to pay attention to what that negative voice is saying and really working to kind of short circuit that habit. And we can do that in a number of different ways. But the first way to really make change is to start to notice it, and then to really allow yourself to notice the feelings and the thoughts that are occurring and find something more productive or more helpful to think about. So if, again, it's trying this, new skill like tennis, you've decided this would be fun, I'm going to pursue my new interests, I pick up a racket and oh my gosh, I'm terrible. I can't even hit the ball. What's happening? Why did I decide to do this? You notice it, right? Because your stress level is starting to increase. Now you really can't hit the ball. So you notice it and you change it. You think, you know what? This is the first time I've done this. It's not going to be easy. The first time I got on the beam, that was really hard. Or the first time I put on a pair of skates, I fell over. Or, the first time I took a basketball in my hands, I had no idea what to do. So you start talking to yourself a little more kindly, a little more calmly, and a little more rationally. So that's a really great way in the summer to further develop your mental skills when you're hopefully not as stressed. There's not as much on your plate, hopefully, or if there is, it's more sort of fun and exciting things. So really, summer is a time that you can hopefully create more balance, figure out how you kind of correct when that balance is off, and do the best you can to make the most of your summer. So again, that's 5 ways to create more balance in the summer months when there's not as much on your plate. The first is that you want to plan out your schedule a little bit. 2 is to really make sure you're getting enough rest. 3, think about trying something new. 4, have fun. And 5, develop or improve your ability to manage stress in the summer. Again, especially if you need help with that 5th one, we are here to help you through our online community or through working with our coaches individually. If you have any questions, let us know. Again, this is Coach Sara. Thank you for joining me for my very first Facebook Live for Complete Performance Coaching, and I look forward to seeing you next time.